Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching, and this is
Hi, I'm Dan. Good morning.
just Dan, not the man, the
Not-
myth,
not
the dragon.
feeling it today.
You're not feeling dragon-like today?
No.
Really? Wow.
Just Dan.
So, Dan, we're back for we don't know what video it is because we forgot to look before we started. So, it's video 40-something.
Take two.
Take two. Yes, take two.
I got censored already.
Well, yeah, just a little bit of censoring. So we've got a few things to show you: whips and finishes and wooden bowls and or bowls, as Dan likes to call them. Yes, you do. We'll give quick life updates and just kind of see where this takes us. So we hope you're all doing well. We want to thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for commenting on our past video. Seems like everyone enjoys the two of us together. We enjoy the two of us together.
I was going to say that,
Yeah.
as we do ourselves.
Yes. Everyone in our family is doing well. Getting tired of the whole social distancing, but I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So we're just going to have to learn to live with it. Dan's been working at home a couple days a week. That's going good.
Mm-hmm.
He did have a person in his office who tested positive for COVID. But I don't think you had a whole lot to do with them, so
No.
we think he's going to be fine.
And they cleaned the whole building, misted it down, and washed it down. So I think we'll be okay.
So far, so good
It was a mild case
for him.
for
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Let's see what else shall we sat outside with the neighbors the other night and had a nice visit, kind of like on the deck in the four corners. It was kind of like a boxing ring. Everyone was in their corner, but that was nice to visit with the neighbors for a while. What else do you want to say?
Did you want to mention your stitching thing last night?
Oh, we did a Zoom last night with a few of the stitchers and had a good time. Once everyone got everything figured out, that was
Including you.
including myself. I didn't know what I was doing. Dan has done it for work, so it was good he was here to help out. But it was fun. We'll do it again. Hopefully next Saturday we'll do it again. And I didn't give people much notice. I had been trying to get it set up most of yesterday afternoon, and it took us until about a half an hour before we actually started the meeting to get it ready to go. So next time we'll know, and it'll be I can give people more notice. But it was a lot of fun. It was good to kind of sit and stitch with friends again. So, Women of the Mayflower. We can talk about that for a minute. Reflections is participating in that little event, and I am taking registration for it now. There is a post on the Reflections Facebook page that you can get signed up if you click on if you open up the file, there's a click here now, and it'll take you to the form, the Google form to fill out to get registered if you're interested. Gonna try and get it onto the website at some point, but that's gonna require a phone call to them to figure out how to do it. So hopefully it will show up there before too long. And hold on just a minute. I gotta take care of that. This is not a touch screen, and I am not used to it. This is my new computer. There. We took the last computer back because of I had to use the external camera, and the color was off. And I was like, for the money I paid, I shouldn't have to do that. So I told Dan to get this other computer, and when he went, they said it wasn't available. So they sent him home with a computer that was supposed to be just exactly like it, only $50 more. Only it was missing a camera, which was kind of an important component. So I ended up having to order one off of Newegg. So this is the new computer, new camera, and hopefully everything will look good. I tried it out yesterday on the chart of the day video, and it seemed to go okay. So let's hope that it continues that way. I think that'll do it for life updates, unless you have something to add, dear. Nothing? You got nothing. Okay. Would you like to show them your finishes?
Yeah.
Because you got several. Well, a couple.
We'll talk about the bowls first.
Okay.
I guess first of all, this was the original idea, was to create a bowl that would be an alternate to the porcelain bowl that Julie picked up at Market. So this was the Spalted maple bowl, and this is what the finish looks like. And I love. Of course, Julie did the finishing for it, and it sits on there. So that'll be on display at the shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I also have some different hardwoods out there, and I've always wanted to try to do some Purple Heart. So this is a purple colored bowl. It finished up pretty dark because I put tung oil on it, but it has some really, really cool grain. It almost looks like it's 3D into the bowl.
Now there is no stain on that whatsoever, right?
No,
It's just the color of the wood.
Well, it's a tung oil. It's a penetrating oil that protects it.
Yes, but the color itself
It did darken it up
is the
a little
color
bit.
of the wood. No stain.
Yeah, this is what Purple Heart looked like before the bowl. So I took 3 pieces of the Purple Heart and glued them together to get enough thickness to turn the bowl. So this is heavy. Feel that, how heavy it is.
Yeah, that's some dense wood.
Yeah, it's very hard. So
He did complain a bit about having to turn that on the lathe because it's so hard.
yeah, we'll talk a little bit about. Julie wanted to make sure that I had a price for them if anybody's interested. And that one, if you want it, you have to take out a loan, because I'm not going to build it unless I absolutely have to. It's just way. It took me twice as long to build it, and I had to sharpen the tools. And fortunately, the gouges that were in there, I was able to get out. But it's just a really intense project. So the Spalted maple is just, I think, a lot better way to go. I've got about 4 of them ready to go in various stages. So just to update you a little bit, if you're interested at all, we start off just with 3 pieces of Spalted maple, or whatever wood that you're going to be using with. And remember, this is they call it a punky wood because it's actually pretty soft. Maple's pretty hard typically, but by the time it starts to age and get this mildew on it, which is what the stains are in here, it becomes fairly soft and pretty easy to turn. So you glue those 3 up together, and then I had to glue a backing board on there too. And then this is the first part of the lathe. This is the face plate that gets screwed onto the wood, and then it turns on the lathe like this. And you have tools that take down. Now usually I will take and cut off the corners on the bandsaw so that it is fairly round. Some turners just will start turning it like that, but that gets pretty chunky when you're turning it around. So usually round it off and then just use the various tools to get it down to the bowl. I got a couple other woods out there. I wanted to show you one. This
This is pretty.
This is called Paducah. It looks it's more orange than it's really shown. It is a very orangey colored wood. It's a very oily wood. But this kind of shows you what exotic woods cost. This piece here was originally, other end. This one had the price. So you can see $19.99 just for a 3-foot by 4-inch piece of Paducah. So fortunately, I've been buying them at half price when they go on sale. So that makes them a little bit more affordable. So this one you'll see probably the next time we video. I think I'll probably have this one just as a sample to add to the different collection. But this one actually, you had to be careful because when you turn it, the sawdust is toxic. So you have to have a good mask and be careful not to ingest it at all. So that one will be fun to do. We'll see how it comes out.
Now the finished project will not be toxic.
No, it's just
making
the
it
sawdust.
clear.
Just
The
the sawdust.
finished project is fine. It's just the sawdust that
Yeah.
you should not ingest in any way, shape, or form.
Or you would not want to be eating your poi, out of
Well,
there.
these are not food grade.
Right.
They're not. Do not put food in them. They are not meant for food.
And then one other one that I want to try. This is Philippine Mahogany. It sounds like exotic and expensive, but it's really a fairly cheap wood. And this brings back memories because when I taught high school, this is what the students made their bowls out of on the lathe because it turns very easy. It doesn't chunk out real bad, and it finishes up nice, and it's cheap. So if the students messed it up, you just did another one. So I'm going to put, it does turn out pretty nice. It has very little grain in it, so they're not real exotic looking, but it's still a nice finish.
I told Dan that after we're done with the video today, that maybe we'll just have a free day and not do any work-related stuff. So maybe he'll get some bowls turned. Because I think that's not work for him. I think he'd find that fun.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll give ourselves a day where we're not. I think I'll just sit and stitch. And you can turn wood if you want, or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay. How about I show a finish?
Okay.
Okay. This. Here's the picture of it. So this is it's a Baltimore salt box from With Thy Needle and Thread. And I showed you my progress on it the last time. And I have it finished. What I didn't tell you, I don't think, the last time, was that I made several mistakes on this. This little thing. So this is going to be a learning lesson. Do what I say and not what I do. So the first mistake I made was I had this piece of fabric already in my stash. And instead of measuring it out and figuring out the size that I actually needed, I just said, oh, this looks good. Did my 3 inches down and 3 inches over from the corner and started stitching. And about halfway through, I knew I was going to be in trouble. So I knew I was going to have to somehow shorten up this chart so that it would fit on the fabric. The second thing I did was I made a mistake in counting, and this flag was 2 stitches short, which doesn't sound like it should be a big problem, except for the fact that it was, in the end, kind of an issue. By the time I figured out that I had a problem, I had the flag completely stitched, I had the roof, the outline of the roof stitched, and part of it filled in, and I had come down this side and down this side and started coming over before I figured out, oh hey, I'm off. And when I figured out where I'd gone off, which was in this band right here, is too short. My thought process at that point was, well, I'll just rip this out, this out, this out, and this part of the roof. Add 2 stitches to the end of here, and then put this back in. Would have been an easy fix. However, I mentioned it to Dan and said that's what I was going to do. And Dan says, oh, you don't need to do that. You can just make this work. You can squish that together a little bit and it'll all be fine. And so I listened to him for once. And the problem was, yes, I could squish this part together, but this, there was no way to squish that together. These could have been squished, but there's no way to squish this. And I didn't process that when I decided to go ahead and finish the stitching the way it was. So when I got the house done and started thinking about this and how I was going to adjust that, you couldn't. I tried and I tried and I tried to adjust it and to, cut it off. And in the end, I redesigned this completely. And by this time I knew I was running out of room. So I chopped the trees down a little bit and squished those together. That was the easy fix. This down here, there was not an easy fix on that. So I had to redesign that also. In the end, I think it looks okay. It's unique to me, which the piece was unique anyway because I'd changed most of the colors. I changed how the roof was stitched. So it's uniquely mine. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it's really, really cute. So all that to say, here's my finish. And you can see that my squares are different from hers. My trees are shorter. And then
you didn't want to do.
I did not want to shorten the trees. I liked them tall, but there was just no way to make it fit. And then my bottom, I ended up making the arrows go in 2 different directions and then just put this on the end of it. So in the end, I really like how it came out.
Talk about your thatched roof.
I got my thatched roof done. Can you see that? I really like how that turned out. Really enjoy that. And then I was trying to think how I wanted to finish it because originally I intended to get the box that this goes on. But mine won't fit on that box because it's quite a bit shorter. So I had Dan make me a, I don't know what you want to call it. Horn book, some people call them a breadboard, butterboard. There's many different names for it, but I had him make me a horn book for it. And he painted it for me. I chose the color. Well, he chose the color, brought it home, asked me if it was going to be okay. I said yes. Then in the end, I had him put a black or dark brown brie wax over the top just to kind of age it a little more. It was a little too bright. So it'll look like something like this when it's done. And he cut this. I don't know if you did it to match the that flower in the middle. So I think it looks good.
Well, it was originally to match.
Well, originally probably to match
because you
these
actually
stars.
said you wanted a star.
Yeah.
There.
Well, I did say I wanted a star up there. I thought it would be unique. So anyway, that's my finish.
Our finish.
Our finish. And I really like how it came out. So I'm happy with that one.
Good job.
Thank you. Would you like to show another of your finishes?
Yeah. You said you wanted me to be a little bit more involved in the presentation.
Sure.
Are you ready?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. Am I ready?
This is unscripted here, so. Well, I'm working on.
That's not a finish.
I'm working. I want to talk about this first.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
this is it. This is in process. Okay. Do you remember the name of this one?
What, isn't it Wintertide Cardinal?
Wintertide Cardinal. Okay.
Something like that. Artful Offerings is the designer.
So yeah, I want to go off script a little bit and talk a little bit about
Do we
something.
have a script?
Well,
We don't have a script.
You kind of have a script. But. So there's a couple of things about this that I want to talk about. Okay, but first,
I do not know what he's going to say.
before I get into
Batten
that,
down the hatches.
I think you guys know the story on how I got into stitching. I think Julie, you probably told that to everybody.
I have.
Right.
I have told it in the past.
Okay.
Yes. If anyone doesn't know, just ask. I'll tell it again.
So I kind of wanted to just. She's totally into this. I could see it, becoming a very important part of her life, and I just wanted to try to do it and surprise her a little bit with something. Of course, she caught me before I was able to meet that goal, but that's okay. But does anybody remember Bob Ross? Bob Ross, the painter? Even if you're not a painter, you should kind of watch Bob Ross because he's a very interesting character. Used to be a Navy SEAL, I believe, or in the Marines, one of the two. But he was,
Seriously?
Oh, he was a drill sergeant, I think. Yeah, he was a drill sergeant.
He was a drill
He
sergeant?
was a drill sergeant. And for those of you who know him, you would say he was a drill sergeant because that's totally not the way he comes across. But anyway, I'm not a painter. I really am a bad painter, actually. So, but I just happened to watch him on TV, when the kids were growing up or something. I kind of got addicted to him watching because he's really pretty cool. But anyway, Julie knew that I liked Bob Ross, and she bought me a calendar of Bob Ross paintings that you just flip over every day. So it's kind of cool. I took it to work, and I kind of look forward to flipping it over every day to see what he's painted. And the interesting thing about it is that he has little sayings that every once in a while he'll just put a saying on there, like your canvas can be anything you want it to be. Just do it. Just go for it. Nature is beautiful, those kind of things. So keep that in mind as I talk a little bit about this project. All right. So if you'll notice this one, there's a lot of snowflakes on here. And use stitching to enjoy stitching. Make it be soothing to you, because that's why I've kept doing it. I originally did it just to show Julie that, hey, look what I did. But it is pretty calming after working all day and coming home. I usually work on it in the evenings. But delve, just like Bob would do, delve into your project. Live your project. Like as I was stitching on this one here, notice how the snowflakes they kept coming, just like in nature. Just picture a winter scene and it's starting to snow. Each snowflake coming down. Trying to be serious here. You ruined it for me.
Okay. It's okay. Okay.
It's gonna work. Stop it. It's going so good. I don't think Pause the video.
We'll be right back. think we've got ourselves under control. Maybe. Pull it together, Dan.
Well, I don't think I'm going to continue. I had a whole scene to paint for you there of the winter scene here, but I'm not sure I could get through it. So, but enjoy your stitching, which I'm sure most of you do. But don't be afraid to go right into your project and become part of the stitching experience. Okay. So there's my winter cardinal.
So what you're saying is you're enjoying the stitching on that.
Well, I am, yeah, just because each snowflake is different.
Okay.
And the more snowflakes you put on there, the more the cardinal pops out. Just like in a...
Well, I think everyone on the Zoom last night thought it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Took a while to recover from that, but
Yeah. I had to fix my makeup and everything.
it just doesn't take me seriously about anything.
Well, now why would I?
I was trying to be very, very serious there. I
Sure.
was trying to get everybody into the mode there.
Sure.
Just like Bob does.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about another
You go for it.
finish I had. I think I showed you the finish before, like when the stitching was finished, but I have it finished into a pillow now. I don't think I grabbed the chart. So this is the I Collect chart from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I have it made into my pillow. Got my rickrack on there. I probably will cover this up with something because I didn't necessarily do a really neat job. This is like a flannel.
It looks like a Frankenstitch.
It is a Frankenstitch. It's flannel, and it kept pulling apart. So it's not. See, it's not the best stitch job in the world, but I stuffed it with some of Dan's sawdust from the garage.
I got a little bit of that.
He has a little bit of that. I don't think he ever throws it away, destroys it, puts it in the trash, whatever. But anyway, I've got this finished. Dan, I don't have it here because we're at home, but I talked about the display case that he had made me for my one Barbie that's no longer on display. So this display case has been just sitting down in the closet for years, and I thought it would mimic what Brenda had done at Market with hers. So it's at work. He kind of made it look a little more rustic than it was, and
The big part was cleaning the glass.
the glass was pretty dirty. So this will go in that, and at some point I will either take a short video of it and show it to you, or a picture or something. But I took that piece of felt or flannel and cooked it a little bit with some walnut crystals, so it kind of has that old aged look. And then I just took some tea bags and just kind of blotched the fabric a little bit before I made it into the pillow. I did have one little, I'm outing myself all over the place here. I stitched the two piece front and back together, and then when you do that all the way around, then you have to put the slice in the back so you can turn it right side out. And unfortunately, when I did that, I sliced right through these threads right there. And I'm like, what the hell happened there? And it was just a nice, neat right through. Luckily, it did not go through the fabric or anything, so I had to then try and restitch it. It didn't come out quite as nicely as it was the first time around, but it's fine. So there's my finish. I love it. It's a great little design. Doesn't take long to stitch.
I like the three-dimensional side of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
You can pick your own buttons. See?
Yeah.
You can get into that project.
You can
put yourself
again,
right into that.
Right into it. Yeah.
Live that moment.
Okay, your turn.
Oh, I only have one thing left. I did finish up my Paul Revere in the Night Ride. Right here.
George Washington.
Oh yeah, George Washington. I was thinking it was Benedict Arnold there for a while.
Not Benedict Arnold. It's George Washington.
George Washington and his apple tree.
Cherry tree.
Oh, cherry tree. Right. Okay.
Blueskin. The name of the chart is Blueskin.
So this is one that Julie brought home. She gave me a choice of this one or another one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I chose this one. This one was fun.
Gotta love that horse. You gotta.
Did I do the horse first?
No.
Oh yeah, I did the horse last. So that was...
He saved that horse till last.
Which was kind of dangerous, working all the way around and clockwise there and coming back around and hoping that the horse fit in the middle, which it did. So, that's pretty cool. And I don't know how you want to do this. If you hold the frame up.
This is the frame we'll be using. It because he did it on 32 count, it called for 36. But because he did on 32, it came out a little large, I think, for what I want it for. So I'm going to go ahead and frame it. And this is the frame that I have chosen. Once the molding places open back up, and hopefully this one is still available, that's what I will be framing it in, which I think is just perfect.
Did I show this one backwards the first time?
I don't know. Your back looks very nice.
I think I might have... No? Okay. Just flipped around.
It's very nice. It's a good finish.
Yeah.
Did a good job. And what do you think after you get your cardinal done? What are you going to go back to?
Well, I was thinking the sister to the
What's
farm
the name
scene.
of that one?
I have no idea. It's in that drawer.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Something.
Isn't it upstairs in the Victrola?
Yeah, I'll go get it. Are they familiar with that one?
I don't know if they know that one or not. Whilst you're gone, I'll continue on. Okay? What have I been working on? Because we're to the whips portion of things. I started Our Hearts, which I think I talked about the last time. Maybe not. And that's how far I've gotten on this. This is a vintage country mocha, 40 count. So I worked on that while we were Zooming last night and finished up this and got all the way across there, which is quite a bit of stitching when you're visiting with friends, I think. So I've got that one, and I worked a little bit on Winter Wisdom. Got a little further on that one. This is 25 count over 1. I can't remember the name of the... It's either Nocturne or Alchemy, but I think it's Nocturne. And I brought the brown wood and started on the pine cone. It's a kind of a fussy area to stitch, but I really like how it's coming out on the 25 count. It's small and very delicate. I also worked on the Smith sampler, or Springfield sampler, sorry. Springfield 1817 sampler from Twin Peak Primitives. This is the one where if you purchase it and let them know, you get entered into the drawing to go on the trip with Pam and Steph. And so I got a little bit more of that one done. The colors on this are just beautiful. I did make a few adjustments, but I'm really enjoying the colors. It makes it more fun when you really like the colors that you're working with. Are you ready to show what you're going to go back
Yep.
to?
Sure.
Okay. It's called Farm Hamlet. It's a dimensions kit. It's kind of the companion piece to the farm, scenic farm, which is on the wall. I don't know if you can see it in here in our. I don't think so.
So I got about a quarter of it done or so.
It's intense stitching though.
It is. There's a lot of color changes.
A lot of color changes. It's and sometimes you're using 3 strands and sometimes you're using 2 strands, and your back is not as neat as other things that you have done.
That isn't bad.
It's another beautiful piece. I'm looking forward to him getting that done at some point, whenever that might happen. Also last night, at the end of the Zoom, I started a new project. French garden. From Samplers Not Forgotten. This is, I believe, 46 count, just raw natural, and that's all I got done. I figure 10 stitches, you can officially say it's a start. So I made sure that I had at least 10 stitches in, so I could call it a start today in the video. So that's everything I have started. I did spend a little bit of time yesterday at the end of the day kitting up a few things because I was trying to decide if I was going to do Mania or not do Mania. And I kind of decided if I was going to do Mania, I wanted to do small things because I have so many large things started. So I chose a few things and kitted them up. And so I will share those with you. Why did you go over there?
I was wondering if you wanted to show them as again or not.
I forgot to show them last
That's
time,
what I
so
meant, yeah.
don't let me forget this time.
That's what I was looking to
Okay.
see if they were over there.
Yeah, they're still there. Okay, so I chose small things. The first thing I chose was Hen Peck because I've been wanting to do this one from Plum Street Samplers.
Oh, with the chicken wire.
It's got the chickens and the flag, so it's kind of a patriotic look, but not. Sort of, kind of. But I wanted to do something different from everyone else on the fabric. So I am choosing to do
brace yourself for this. This is pretty awesome.
the Berkshire hive, which is supposed to look like beehives, but it can look like chicken wire too. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to go over one, so it's going to be a tiny, oopsie. It's going to be a tiny little thing when it's done, like I think 3x4 maybe, somewhere in there. And I'm going to, some of the floss, called for floss, I'm just switching to DMC because it doesn't use much of it. So those are the overdyes that I'll be using. This will be the chicken. It was supposed to be parchment, and I want my chicken to be white. But it's got some gray running in it because, you know, real chickens aren't bright white because they're out in the dirt all the time.
Dirty.
They're dirty birds. So that I might start today. Oh, you know what? I left out some other whips. Huh. We're going to jump back to that. That was my... Where did it go, George? Did I leave out whip? I think I did. There's that one. Yeah, where is my Quaker welcome?
Is it up on top?
Nope. Well, it must be over there somewhere. I did start, a week or two ago, I started a Quaker welcome from Lila's Studio. I'm stitching it as a stitch along with my friends Donna and Mary. And it's got to be over there somewhere, but
What's
I
it
don't
look
know.
like?
I don't know where it is. I don't know. So I work on that on Sundays, but since we're having a no work day today, I may start the chicken one, and then this evening, because Mary has her phone set to remind me to work on it on Sundays. So her phone will ding, and then she sends me a text and says, "Julie, it's time." And so then I start stitching on Quaker Welcome.
I'm not sure what it looks like.
It's okay. I'll show it next time. Thank you for looking. So I've been working on that. So I'll work on that this evening, but I think I will start henpeck today. The next thing I chose is Sweet Finch. It's a kit from Samplers Not Forgotten. It is a kit. It includes all the stuff you need. I am changing the fabric. It's pretty much the same color, but this is a Weeks Dye Works beige, and I hate Weeks Dye Works. Their old base, I can't do it. So I did choose and actually this is a 40 count because I don't really like 36 either. So I'm doing a 40 count summer khaki, which is almost the same exact. Can you see that? Same exact color. So I'm going to do that. And then, here you go, hon. So these are all fairly small projects. The next one is Bringing Home the Tree from Scarlet House. Looks like that. Cute little, I was going to do this as in the chart of the day, but now I won't because I'm showing it to you here. Cute little piece. Like how it's finished with the little jingle bell up there. Think I am doing all the called for colors with the exception of mascara because Weeks Dye Works mascara is black. Black. There's no variegation. And why would you want to use a variegated when there is no, an overdye when there is no variegation to it? It seems like a waste of money to me. I'm sorry, but it does. So these are the called for colors. And I'm using Vintage Meadow Rue. I had a little scrap that was just big enough to do if I didn't do 3-inch borders. I prefer a 3-inch border on anything that I stitch, sometimes 4. I stitch in a Q-snap and I like to have that extra space. But I'm only doing a 2.5-inch border because that's the biggest piece I had. So that is that one. And I'm not sure, I will start these sometime in the month of May. And that will be my mania. And let's see, how many was that? Is that 2 or 3 down
3,
there?
I think. Yep. Sweet
There's
Finch, henpeck, and Bringing Home the
Okay,
Tree.
so this is the 4th one. So I kind of did four new starts plus the big one for my mania.
They can see over here.
Can you see what she's doing over there? Remy, over here. She's digging at the sofa. I don't know why.
She's quirky.
She is quirky. Okay, so the last one I chose was Autumn Alphabet. This is not a new chart, it's an older chart. Hold that, please. And I changed the orange color. It called for...
Not the best view of Reading.
No. It called for Gentle Arts Nutmeg for the pumpkin, which is a little bit too brown for me. It doesn't look like it in that picture, but it was a little too, not as pumpkin-y as I would have liked to have. So I did change that to sweet potato. And it called for, what did it call for fabric? Mocha, a Weeks Dye Works 40 count. I chose, and I'm not sure whose fabric this is, but I think it's Fiber on a Whim, maybe. It's called Old Gold. Picked it up at Market, which is why I'm pretty sure it's Fiber on a Whim. Like their colors. Need to get more into the shop. I just haven't had a chance to really investigate. Those are the colors I'm using. That's a closer look at the fabric. It's really pretty. It's a lot more, it's a greeny gold. Wouldn't you agree?
I suppose.
It's a greeny gold. More rich than it's showing up on the screen, but that's pretty close. I think that'll be cute. I kind of tried to do like a seasonal thing. So this is obviously autumn. The Sweet Finch I chose for a spring piece because the birds come back in the spring.
You're getting into that.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I just like the way you're getting into your.
Oh, the way I'm getting into my stitching.
Get it.
The henpeck I chose for summer because when we were kids and would go to the up to Stewart, it was always summertime, and one of my jobs when I stayed out at the farm was to collect the eggs from the chickens, so I always associate chickens with summertime in Stewart. So I chose that for summer, and then the bringing home the tree is winter. So I kind of did a seasonal thing without really intentionally. I had 3 of the 4 seasons, and I'm like, might as well do a 4th season as long as we're doing it. So I'm doing a seasonal mania. And that, I think, concludes. No, I did want to talk about one thing that I bought recently after watching Mischievous Stitcher Lori a few videos ago. She featured her little tiny sprocket printer, which looks like this. So you can take pictures on your phone and then print them out, and they print out in this size,
Just cute.
little cute size. And she had some good ideas on how she was going to use hers, so I kind of stole the idea from her. My plan is to print out 2 copies of each picture. So this is my Springfield 1817 sampler. I'm going to take 2 pictures, or print out 2 pictures of the chart. I'm going to have Dan laminate them because he can do that for me. Punch a hole in it and attach it both to the outside of my bag because I use a lot of, I use a lot of these bags. And I don't use this because sometimes it comes unstitched. So they're really inexpensive bags. But I really like them. But I don't like to put a whole lot of stuff in this mesh thing because sometimes it does come unstitched. So I'm just going to attach the laminated thing to the zipper pull. And then I want to attach a laminated picture to the floss because I'm notorious for my floss getting separated from the rest of the stitching project. And also I'm basically lazy. So yes, I could take a little piece of paper, I could write it out, and I could attach it. But this is funner. Funner a word? This is more fun.
More funner. More funner.
More funner? This is more funner. So plus it's kind of nice to have this just for printing out. Like I took a picture of of Dan with Emma the other day. It's just kind of fun to be able to get a pic. I never print pictures anymore, ever. I used to print them all the time, and now I never do. So it's kind of fun to get an immediate little picture. They're
What
not.
was the cost on this item?
I got a big bundle where it came with a case and some of the paper, and everything you needed, and I think I got it on sale for like $90 or something. So it wasn't bad. The paper's kind of expensive because your ink is in the paper.
Whoa.
But yeah, weird, huh? Kind of like the old Polaroids, only better.
Yep, you don't have to hold that one under your arm.
No, I never held them under my arm anyway.
They don't develop better.
What the hell? So anyway, I stole that idea from Lori. Thank you, Lori, for enabling me to spend more money. But I think this is going to solve all my problems. Well, not all my
All your
problems. Not all my problems. But this will solve the problem of my floss getting. And I could not laminate them, but it'll probably be harder for the dogs to eat if they get a hold of them if it's laminated.
You know how light's going to affect it either. Over time.
And so I just would feel better laminating it, and then I can just tell at a glance without having to open up the bag and say, "Oh, what's in there?" It'll be on there. Like, I'll know what's supposed to be in this bag if it gets separated. So it'll be a good organizational tool for me. And I kind of am feeling the need to be a little bit more organized, because anyone that knows me knows I am not. I used to be very organized when I was younger, but I am not anymore. I have too many irons in the fire and not enough time. So the shop right now looks like a bomb has gone off. There is stuff everywhere, literally everywhere, because orders have been coming in and keeping me busy, and I just haven't had a whole lot of time. It was quiet the last couple of days, which was a nice break. Hopefully it won't stay quiet, because I don't intend to open up. I've been asked several times when I intend to open up to the public again, and I am in no particular hurry to do that. Nebraska has not reached its peak yet.
Or
Iowa, and I am just not in any particular hurry to have people in the store touching everything, and that's what was happening. That's originally why I shut the doors, was because people were coming in and they were just browsing and touching everything, and there's no way you can disinfect everything. And it just made me uncomfortable, and I don't think that behavior is going to change any. So I am in no particular hurry to open back up. I have too many people that I know with compromised immune systems, including Dan. He's diabetic. He doesn't need to get it. So I'm gonna sit back and wait and see what happens after they open up Monday, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Monday that like beauty salons, tattoo parlors, restaurants, I think they can open back up on Monday. So I'm going to just sit back and wait a couple weeks and see what happens before I open up to people, and then it'll probably be limited. As I know I was limiting it to 10 before this started, and but I was uncomfortable. People were in there and they were clustered together and touching everything and just not practicing safe, what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't
Social distancing.
They weren't being smart. So I'm going to wait a couple of weeks. So hopefully the orders will continue to come in through the website and the phone, and curbside service is still available. So thank you once again for all of your support during this time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching my chart of the day videos. I've missed doing them the last week. And I got several emails from people inquiring as to where I was. It was all computer issues. That's hopefully taken care of now. So I think I'm done. Are you done?
Mhm.
Do you have any other pearls of wisdom you wish
No,
to share?
I think I've done enough today.
Are you sure?
We may have to pick up on the rest of the vision on the cardinal, though,
You may.
all the way through the end. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't do it today.
Couldn't? We got the giggles. You could go paint some happy little clouds or trees, though.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to follow up on Bob Ross, I was just looking at the some of his demos, and there was a girl on there that had a YouTube, a young girl, and she said, "Hey, it's my birthday, and I wanted to do something special for myself." So I said, I'm going to paint a picture." She says, I've never painted a picture. I'm not an artist." I said, "But I just wanted to paint a Bob Ross picture because she liked Bob Ross too." So she got all set up and did a video of her going alongside painting her painting of Bob Ross, and it was freaking hilarious. I mean, she's just a really cute little gal, and the way she was trying to keep up, and he finished, and he didn't have any paint on his shirt. Look at me, I've got paint all over myself. He didn't even break a sweat. It was really funny. So if you look at Bob Ross tutorials, there wasn't too many like that, but you'll see a picture of her, and it's worth watching. It's pretty funny.
Okay, then.
Maybe I'll bring in a picture of my Bob Ross calendar, the good one, show everybody.
Yeah. They'll probably just be waiting with bated breath.
I know. Now we got them coming back for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, my last thought is enjoy your stitching. That's
Okay. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Take care until next time, which should be Monday for the chart of the day. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.